Hello and welcome to episode
29.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to episode 29 of the How to Survive podcast. This week, be warned, if the downloads drop below 50, this podcast will explode. Because this week we're talking about Speed from 1994, story of a runaway bus that's going to blow up because of a bomb. Before we get started, will the mystery guest please sign in? Chris Morris joining me as ever.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
As one reviewer on iTunes pointed out, you're not actually the Chris Morris, are you?
No, apparently we tricked people into listening. I feel a little bit hard done by that analysis.
It is your birth name.
It is my birthday. Yeah.
But yeah.
It's not like a nom de plume.
No, because otherwise we wouldn't have used Joe Sherville.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like Michael Keaton.
Yeah. Speed tells the story of Jack Travers, a detective or a special operations guy from the police.
Yeah, just like a man.
So when this shit hits the fan, he's the guy that gets sent in.
Yeah.
Right. And that's exactly where we meet him. He's played by Keanu Reeves. And the first time we see him, he and his partner, Harry, played by Jeff Daniels, are sent into a situation, which is basically that a lift has become stuck after the cable was blown. Mm-hmm. The emergency brake is kicked in, but that's going to blow if if money isn't given to someone holding the detonator.
Yeah. I'll stop you there, Joe, because before this scene, one thing you're forgetting is that the film has the longest credit sequence of any film that I've ever seen.
It must be 15 minutes long.
I know. The Hateful Eight was lauded, one of the things is like, Quentin Tarantino's bringing back the overture to films. Jan de Bont was ahead of his time. 1994, Speed has the longest musical credit sequence you'll ever see. And it's one continuous shot.
And the credits that come up are all in word art.
Yeah.
From Windows 95.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
But for an action film, it's so strange to have the first. It's genuinely 5 or 6 minutes. It seems.
I boiled an egg and ate it in that time. So anyway, they're sent in to basically save the people trapped in the elevator, which they do, and they find out that the person holding the detonator is a man, a mystery man, who's actually in the building. So they chase him down. He throws a bit of a curveball because he's taking control of the elevator system. So every other police officer in the building thinks they've gone one way, they've actually gone another.
Yeah.
He takes Jeff Daniels' character Harry hostage, and there's a bit of a shootout. Harry gets shot by Keanu deliberately so that he can't be taken as hostage. Yeah. And then Dennis Hopper's character leaves, and there's a big explosion, and he's assumed to be dead.
Yeah.
But he's not dead, because in the next scene, well, first of all, Keanu Reeves is given a medal for being so brave, and then the next day he goes to work, and on his way there he stops for a coffee, as he does every day.
Yeah.
And he meets a bus driver, a friend of his. He says, "Good morning."
He's a man of the people.
Yeah, exactly. He says, "Good morning, I'll see you tomorrow."
Yeah.
And the bus driver walks across the road, gets on the bus, and the bus explodes. And then a payphone rings, and Keanu picks it up. I mean, his name's not Keanu in the film, but I'm going to call him Keanu because it's more interesting. And he says, "Who's there?" And he says, "Oh, it's obviously me, the guy you thought was dead."
Yeah, that's in the script.
Yeah. And here's the 411. There's a bomb on a bus elsewhere in the city, and if the speed drops below 50 miles an hour, that bus is going to explode.
Yeah. And if it goes above 50 and then below 50.
If it goes above 50, the trigger will be engaged, and
it will arm, and then it will blow up when decelerating below
50 miles an hour. Yeah. So off Keanu goes in his car, chasing down the bus. He knows where it is. He's been told, and by degrees he finds himself in another car, a sports car, Jaguar, which pulls up alongside the bus. He climbs on board the bus after explaining to the driver what's going on, but unfortunately they're already going over 50 miles an hour.
Nightmare.
So he joins the bus, and on board, among others, Hawthorne James is Sam. He's the driver. Beth Grant is Helen, who is old lady. Alan Ruck is Stevens, who is the guy from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, and a tourist.
Yep.
He doesn't play the guy. He's not a continuation of his character from the first
spin-off. Yeah. Carlos Carrasco, who is Ortiz, or Gigantor. Natsuko Ohama, who is Mrs. Camino. And Sandra Bullock, who's Annie, who is Sandra Bullock.
Yep. Wildcat.
Yeah, there are others, but they're just credited as Passenger 1 or Passenger 2, etc.
Sure.
So obviously everyone's a bit panicked. None more so than a petty criminal who's on the bus thinks that Keanu's there to arrest him, pulls a gun, and they have a bit of a fight. And lo and behold, Hawthorne James' character Sam, the driver, is shot and rendered
incapacitated.
Yeah, he's incapacitated. He's moved out of the way, and Sandra Bullock takes the wheel, and so on they go. And the police, by this time, have been alerted to the situation, and they're helping move traffic in a way that means this bus won't slow down below 50. Because if it does, they're all going to blow up. One of the rules is that no one can get off the bus, or the bomb will go off.
Yeah.
So everyone's trapped on there, going 50 miles an hour, and the demands are $3 million, I think, have to be delivered to Dennis Hopper's character, or he'll blow the bus in 2 hours.
Yep.
Eventually, the bus is moved onto a stretch of freeway which is still being built, right?
Yeah,
that's why.
They don't realise it at the time.
Why is it empty then?
Because I assumed that it was a stretch of freeway that they'd closed off,
especially for it.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a stretch of freeway.
A stretch of freeway built specifically for the potential scenario that a runaway bus, No,
I thought it was obvious they were still building it.
Okay.
Because
maybe
they were like, oh yeah, the road's out ahead. I was like, obviously, who keeps a freeway closed?
Well, if it is that it's still being built and they know that ahead of time, then it's poor foresight, isn't it?
Well, anyway, that's what happens. The road's out ahead, so the only thing to do is hit it really fast, and they basically jump the bus over a small gap, and they survive. So they make it eventually to an airport, which is it hasn't even been closed off. It's an operational airport. They drive the bus around one of the runways, just round and round in circles, so they can keep the speed up. So while they're going round and round the airport, it's revealed that Dennis Hopper is actually watching them through a camera on the bus, behind the sort of driver's mirror.
Yeah, he keeps calling Annie Wildcat throughout the film, and then it turns out that she went to a college whose football team is the Wildcats, Cincinnati Wildcats or whatever it is. Through that, Keanu manages to work out that Dennis Hopper's character, which is using the actor's name throughout. Through that, Keanu realises that Dennis Hopper can see Sandra Bullock.
Yes. So they must be transmitting a live signal. So he talks to the chief of police, who is apparently an expert in broadcast, and he says, find out. There's obviously lots of news crews there. Yeah. He says to one of them, find out what frequency they're broadcasting on, and I want you to tape what the broadcast is, and then relay it. So it looks like the bus is just still moving and everything's fine. Yeah. And they overlay it and they unload the bus and get everyone off, except for Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock, who remain stuck on the bus. But they wedge it with a pole, so it's sort of go forward at 50 miles an hour. Yeah. And then they disembark on a trap door.
A dinner tray.
Yeah.
Basically.
The bus crashes into a jumbo jet and explodes. Yeah. But they slide to safety.
Yeah. No one is hurt.
No. But Dennis Hopper doesn't know what's going on, so he wants his money. So they agree to meet him in the middle of the town. Yep. But with various smoke and mirrors, Dennis Hopper is able to take the money and Sandra Bullock onto an awaiting metro train, which he boards and he sets off on his journey. Yeah. So, but Keanu Reeves, being the smart guy he is, tracks him down and he boards the top of the train. Yeah. And he makes too much noise. Dennis Hopper realises he's up there and says, "All right, I'm coming up there to get you." And he does. He goes up and they have a fight, which ends in Keanu holding Dennis Hopper above his head so that he gets hit in the face by like a sign, and decapitated. So he gets into the train. Sandra Bullock says, "What happened to him?" He says, "Well, he lost his head."
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah. But now, lo and behold, the rail up ahead is out, meaning we're going to have to make the jump.
Oh, no. Yeah, this is a bit that I don't really understand. Yeah, but go on.
All right, so the brakes are disabled. There's no other choice. They just got to slam it. They break out onto the LA streets up above in a big explosion of debris. And onlookers come over to make sure they're okay and find them canoodling in the wreckage. The end.
The end.
I mean, it's also worth mentioning that Jeff Daniels' character Harry dies at some point.
Yeah.
But that's it's so inconsequential.
Yeah.
So, Chris, Speed, what did you think?
I really like it. It's just, I mean, it's obviously ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's just really good fun. It's like a really good 90s action film, isn't it?
Yeah, it's corny, but...
Yeah, you don't really get them anymore, do you? They're all sort of a bit more po-faced and like...
Take himself too seriously.
Taken, or, you know, even something like The Expendables, it's all like a bit... This isn't sort of like show-offy in that sort of way. It's got like a sense of fun, like Die Hard or, you know, similar action films from the same sort of era. And it's just like, it's so ridiculous, but it's such great fun.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept as well.
Yeah.
To have it, like, we you know, in this podcast, we like movies with set rules for survival. Yeah. So, I mean, the example would be It Follows. It's the perfect rules. You got to pass on the curse and it'll get you. Yeah. But this is good. The bus can't go below 50 miles an hour. It can't be more simple.
Yeah. It's great high concept filmmaking.
Yes.
Like a high concept film would be one that you can, you know, pitch with a really succinct premise. So like, you know, there's a bomb on a bus that will blow up if it goes below 50 miles an hour. Yeah. Everyone sort of, you know, they know what that's about. Yes. Immediately. But it does so much with that premise. Yeah. Like, I was writing things down as they were appearing, and this is only within a sort of 5 or 10 minute scene, which happens between Keanu getting on the bus and them before they get to the airport, basically. So these are some of the things that happen. The bus nearly tips over going around a corner and they make all the passengers stand on one side. There's a criminal on board who shoots the driver, who is wounded and can't drive, so one of the passengers has to take over. They go through a traffic jam. A woman crosses the street with a pram that happens to be filled with cans, but they don't realise until after they've already hit it. There's some school children crossing the road, meaning that they have to swerve out of the way at the last moment. And there's a gap in the highway, meaning that they have to launch themselves over, you know, an impossible, you know, rupture in the road in order to survive.
Is that before or after the woman is killed?
So yeah, you did. We glossed over that in the synopsis.
Yeah, but the driver is allowed to leave the bus because he's wounded and basically dead weight. So they pass him across onto an awaiting police vehicle. And one of the other ladies on the bus loses her nerve, and she tries to make a jump for it. Yeah. But of course, unbeknownst to her, Dennis Hopper is watching on camera, and he blows up the steps to the bus, sending her under the wheels.
Yeah. In what is a dramatic and emotionally resonant scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to be run over by a bus.
No. It's a bit irresponsible. Like, if you watch, it's like the police on the lorry. Yeah. Are sort of like encouraging.
Yeah. After Keanu Reeves has gone, look, I've spoken to the guy. He's going to kill anyone who gets off the bus. Yeah. Come on, off the bus, everyone.
It'll be fine. Like, they shouldn't really be endorsing this sort of behaviour. But yeah, like, it's just, like I said, it does so much with a really simple premise. And obviously there's, you know, the elevator scene. It is like 3, you know, big action scenes, basically, isn't it? Yeah. There's the lift scene at the start, which is good, aside from the, you know, lengthy credit sequence. Yeah.
And the woman who refuses to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my God. Yeah. You were saying this when we watched Poseidon Adventure. Yeah. It's people who just become so paralysed with fear in these movies that they can't move. It doesn't make any sense.
What I love about that opening scene as well is that the character introduction for Jack and Harry is their car launching over like a hill, over like a blind incline in the road. Like they're just going at like 80 miles an hour, and then like it seems as though the opening scenes are setting up Jack Travers, Keanu Reeves' character, is like a real sort of like bad boy of the police force, but actually he's not like that at all, because like later on after the awards ceremony he's like the only one who hasn't got a hangover, and you know, he hasn't gone back with anyone, which implies that he's a little bit sort of
straight-laced.
Yeah, exactly. But like in that opening scene they're all gathered around and they're listening to the commander as he tells them, you know, what the situation is with the elevator. Yeah. And he's there and he's like chewing gum. Yeah. And then like someone says, is there anything else that could stop the lift if it falls? And he goes, yeah, the basement. And it's like, no one like looks at it and goes, Jack, what are you doing? Mate.
Jack, that's really inappropriate.
Fucking hell.
That's not helpful at all.
These people are going to die. Yeah. But they then... And then also the dynamic between him and Harry is like Harry's always saying like, all right, pop quiz heart shot, which is like Howard Payne, Dennis Hopper's character, like he adopts that later on as a sort of taunt.
Yeah.
But like it's like this weird, Jedi and apprentice relationship.
I don't think Jeff Daniels is like 30 years older than Keanu Reeves, is it?
Because it's like those opening scenes are like setting up for him to be sort of a real like bad boy of the Force, and
rebel without a cause.
Yeah, and then over the course of the film become, the mature police officer that he has to be or something. But there's no payoff to that at all.
He's just like quick thinking. He's quick thinking. He's resourceful.
Yeah,
because he uses that weird crane thing at the beginning.
Yeah.
If anything, he's the perfect man for the job.
Yeah.
He's like Jason Bourne.
It's great fun all the way through, basically.
Yes.
The iconic scene is obviously the bus jumping over the gap.
Yes.
But every time I watch this film, I'm disappointed because I realise that the way they've done it visually ruins the effect completely, because they've like taken a section of highway out, but the two sections are like level with one another.
Yeah.
And that's not how that works. Like the bus wouldn't like...
But I think the way it hits is there's a sort of ridge. But
it doesn't look... They don't communicate that like well enough.
What you wanted to go up a ramp.
Yeah, or like, you have two sections of... It would be good if there was like two corners of highway that were at different levels, and like he realised the one that they were on, it wasn't going to... it was broken up ahead. So he like... leapt from one to the other and carried on.
Right.
But as it is, like, he clears like a 50-yard gap in the road with no incline at all. It's like at the same level as when he takes off, and it just doesn't
lose any air. Yeah.
No, it just doesn't look right. It always just slightly rankles.
They did actually make the jump.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but they did it with a ramp.
Yeah.
That isn't it. Like, if there was, they could have, faked a ramp with like construction supplies or something. Do you know what I mean? It's just,
or had it like something collapsed and
exactly. Yeah, but as it is, it just looks wrong. Like, it just looks like it just doesn't ollie over the gap.
I think they had all the cast, the passengers, on the bus when they did the jump as well. So that's all real.
Is that true?
I think so.
Well,
I remember hearing a podcast about it. If I'm wrong, then sue me. There are some real clangers in the script, right?
Right.
But it's particularly the police chief. Everything he says. Here's to you guys for doing your jobs and not getting dead.
Yeah. Don't get dead.
Yeah. It's just that's not something people say.
No.
It's not like an authentic thing.
No. What did you make of Dennis Hopper as Howard Payne?
Well, Dennis Hopper's a capable actor.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have anything to do. So he's just in a room on his own, and he doesn't know who he's talking to, I assume.
No.
It's like all these scenes have been shot in isolation. So he's just talking to a phone and going like, well, looks like your little plan paid off, huh?
Yeah. He's just like a generic maniac, isn't he? He's got like mannequins in his room for like no reason.
Yeah.
My question for you about him is that... is Howard Payne independently wealthy?
That go right. Yeah, 'cause it doesn't make any sense,
right? Because as it's discovered later on that Howard Payne is an ex-police officer,
an ex-bomb squad member,
who a bomb went off and he lost a thumb, right? Mm-hmm. So that's his motivation for targeting police, or like targeting people and wanting to get money as compensation.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah. He thinks of himself as a policeman, and because he was retired off, he's unable to... He doesn't think his pension's good enough, I guess?
Yeah.
Because one of the other things he does is make the bomb on the bus, and the timer on it is the gold watch he got given at retirement.
Yeah. Which he leaves intentionally so that they'll figure out who he is.
Yeah.
And then, knowing that they'll figure out who he is, he rigs a house... His old house must be up with bombs.
So he's bought a second home.
Yeah. Yeah, so let's tot this up, right? Okay. So Howard Payne, he retires on a police pension, which he claims is not enough money.
On presumably disability allowance.
Yeah, and like honourably discharged, if there is such a thing from the police force. Yeah. Right, you'd imagine there is. He gets a cheap-looking gold watch, right, and a police pension, right? On that police pension, he presumably pays off the mortgage on his first house.
And gets a second one.
Buys a flat in downtown LA, right, overlooking a big square. He then pays for a large amount of surveillance and recording equipment and broadcasting technology that allows him to rig the buses with a camera.
Yeah, undetected.
So he's got all this broadcasting equipment, and then he, presumably at great expense on the black market, buys all these parts for bombs as well, undetected, and then manages to either forge... Well, I mean, he forges his, papers to get into the building to rig the elevators, I presume. Also, was he always planning on doing the bomb stuff? Or did, like, on the buses?
Or was he No, I think it's just because this whole thing is revenge against Jack Travers.
Yeah, because his elevator plan failed. So did he go home and then rig up the bombs?
The bus? Yeah, I guess so. Unless he was planning on going for a double, because he wants 3 million, I think.
Yeah.
And he wanted 3 million for the safety of the elevator passengers.
Yeah.
So maybe he wanted 6.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know.
It's bizarre.
Anyway, in any case, it's a stretch to imagine that he is able to afford this and
if he can,
on a
he has no reason to be angry because this is presumably hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment.
Well, do you buy his motive then?
What?
Or do you think he's just a mental person?
He's angry because he feels hard done by.
Yeah. But I think a lot of his lines are just like nonsense.
Yeah, I know.
They're just like, I'm the architect of all of this destruction. You don't realise what... Yeah. It's all that sort of nonsense.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind that. Like, but his motivation is sort of like, it's just not developed well. It is not understood well enough, like, from an audience's perspective, for it to be like, I don't know. It's just missing something, isn't it? It's just he does just seem like a mad person.
Yeah,
which obviously he is. Yeah. But we in no way endorse anyone blowing up buses or elevators.
No, exactly. Well, Chris, we may as well get to this. If you were Jack Travers or Keanu Reeves, I mean, they're the same person.
Yeah.
If you were him, what would you do to survive in Speed?
Well, you said Keanu Reeves there, but I'm actually going to take a different tack.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about how Dennis Hopper, a.k.a. Howard Payne, would have survived.
Yep.
So if you are Howard Payne, don't try to take on Keanu Reeves, who is at his physical peak and 28 years younger than you and has all 10 fingers. And if you do, don't try and strangle him, a method of assault that requires or benefits from the application of thumbs.
That's a good point.
Because there's a shot of him trying to strangle, and I just thought, you've got like half as much ability, force ability in doing that. Listeners at home, Joe's trying to mime strangling himself without the use of a thumb.
It's really not.
No.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work out for him.
No.
So what I would say is it doesn't look like Jack Travers getting into the train anytime soon. Don't climb on top of the train
in order to stop him getting in.
This is what makes people think that Howard Payne is a maniac rather than someone who's got a legitimate reason for being angry. Yeah. And it's things like climbing on top of a moving subway car to fight a man who's nearly 30 years younger than him.
It's not as if Keanu could sneak in.
Basically, why try and take on Keanu in a physical bout?
Who is a martial arts expert, let's bear in mind.
And look at the man. And then look at you.
An old man.
Yeah. An old man with nine fingers.
Yeah.
He didn't stand a chance, and that's why I think that he made a mistake.
Okay, fair enough. Good advice for Dennis Hopper there.
Yeah. So the survival advice is that rather than losing your rag when the money blows up in your face and shooting all your bullets, just wait.
Yeah, because as soon as he makes his arm or leg visible to climb in, just shoot him.
Although Also, method of survival, if you're Howard Payne, think further ahead than just getting on a subway car which has like no track ahead of it again.
Yeah. Well, that was his plan. His plan was to leave Sandra Bullock tied up in there while he escaped some other way.
How?
That's not
traveling at like 90 miles an hour.
That's not established. Right. He says this. You're going a different way to me. Is what he says.
Right. Okay. Right. Fine.
So maybe he needed to be on the roof.
I thought it was that he was just going to blow the subway car up, and he's like, because he says that amount of body parts, like they don't count, or they don't count body parts in that sort of situation. Yeah. Right.
They look for DNA probably.
Yeah. I mean, clearly they didn't the day before.
Yeah.
Or whenever it was. You know, when he previously blew himself up, supposedly. But yeah, so he could have done it a lot better. Is my message to Howard Payne.
Yeah, well, fair enough. Mine. Talking about the first scene as we go then, we'll go back there, and it's Keanu Reeves and Jeff Daniels and Dennis Hopper in a lift, and what happens is Dennis Hopper's rigged up on a pension. By the way, he's rigged up this override system for the lifts, so that when he has to input a different number, but he can tell the lift system that they're gone elsewhere, which makes the police who are not in the lift think they've gone to, say, the third floor, and really they've gone to the basement, allowing them to escape. Here's something that would have solved that problem, and something that I assume all policemen have and have had for maybe 30 years. Right. Walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
If they'd just gone, hey chief, he's got this override thing. He's taking us to the basement.
Yeah, but that might provoke Howard Payne, the very sane Howard Payne, to blowing up the bomb. He's got a gun trained on him. You don't want to. He's a very jumpy man.
It's true.
You don't want to aggravate him. But yeah, but they turn the radios off, don't they?
But why?
Is it because they're sneaking up on top of the lift and they don't want them to go off and him hear them?
Might be. Turn it back on. That would have certainly helped. I mean, don't go into any situation when you've got like armed men on your side who can come and help you, and not ask them for help.
Yeah, use the resources available to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jack Travers uses all the resources available to him from this point in the film onwards. So maybe this is a turning point in his character. When I said that there wasn't the character development that you expect from the opening scene, maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, he learned a lesson.
Yeah.
Second point I've got, when he's boarding, before the bomb has been armed, he has to make it to the bus in order to tell the driver, don't go over 50, right? Why didn't you just shoot the tyres?
Well, my assumption is, because by the time he gets to the bus is always already on the freeway. The bus, he definitely is at the bus before it hits 50. Right.
And he's like, beep, beep. And the guy's like, what a jackass.
I mean, like, that is the sort of... I mean, Joe, that's the sort of thing that the Jack Travers of the opening sequence would do.
Yeah.
But not the Jack Travers of the rest of the film. Because as we know, he develops as a character so much. I mean, it's a bit risky, isn't it? You might kill everyone in trying to do that.
Yeah. I guess so. But it wouldn't arm the bomb.
Yeah, that's true. It's similarly... in pursuit of Howard Payne throughout the film, at least 13 people die.
Right.
So body count of 13.
Okay.
Right, and this includes 8 or more highly trained SWAT police officers.
Sure.
Including Harry, dearest Harry.
Are you counting the ones that sort of jump out the window?
Well, it depends. Like it's definitely 8 according to if you type in speed movie body count.
Right.
It's 8, but I would say that it looks like there's more than 8 of them.
Okay.
More like 16.
Yeah.
But then again, maybe it's estimated that half of them survived or something like that.
Yeah.
But so let's say 13 people, or maybe a couple more.
We're averaging.
Yeah. There's only 16 people on the bus. All right. So when does inaction become a better idea than action, right? So looking back over the events of the film, would it have been preferable, like if we're talking net survival, right, not just in terms of numbers, but in terms of quality of individual, Joe, right? Would it have been better to just let Howard Payne blow the bus up?
You're kind of going for the eugenics sort of system.
Well, not necessarily. It's not about genealogy or anything. It's about... If you've got a busload of civilians and, you could put the same amount of people who die later on in the film, because there's SWAT team people, police officers. There's a train driver who dies. I mean, he's probably a good guy.
Yeah.
There's a criminal on the bus, Joe. Who knows what these people are doing?
Are you counting Dennis Hopper in the body count?
No.
Okay.
Why not? Because also SWAT policemen, high-ranking policemen who are trained in all these things, right? They're not ten a penny, right? And what if the shortfall in police resulted in more crime?
Right.
All right. So I'm talking long-term net survival for the whole of the Los Angeles area.
Even copycat. Bus bombers.
Like, what if they, now suddenly they're, SWAT team, and presumably they sent all of their best guys out there.
Yeah. You don't mess around with.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get this.
Harry, what's his name?
Harry
Payne.
Howard Payne.
You don't want to mess around with him.
Exactly. Yeah. So like they would have sent all their best guys. So what is it better to have just let the bus blow up?
So your opinion is that it's okay to sacrifice civilians in order to protect the people who were supposed to protect civilians.
Yeah, but they
knew what they were signing up for.
That's true.
They're meant to die for.
That's true. But it's whether or not you think that the shortfall in police officers and quality police officers at that would have resulted in 3 or more deaths overall as a result of this shortfall in the Los Angeles area following the events of this film. Because if it does, then the better idea would have been to let the bus blow up.
However, these people died in pursuit of Dennis Hopper, who was going to kill more people.
Yeah. How much is a life worth, Joe? How much is 16 lives worth?
But he could have killed again. So you're treating the symptom by.
But I'm not treating the disease.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. There's no. Yeah. I mean, the safest way is to. I mean, one thing that again always annoys me about this film, the actions of Mrs. Camino.
Yeah.
Right.
She's the one who.
If a police officer has gone to great lengths to get onto a bus to try and save your life, like people are dying, falling out of the bus, all that sort of thing, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got one shot at saving your life, and he says, "Don't move for the next 30 seconds. Just look straight ahead."
Yeah.
Don't wait until 15 seconds into that, and then go, "I might put my bag on the floor now."
I don't. Can we retake the shot, please?
Yeah. Just stay still.
Yeah. It's stupid, isn't it?
Yeah. She annoys me.
Yeah. Well, she's the one who gives the game away.
Yeah. But it's by that point. Fortunately. So
your advice to Mrs. Camino is have better control of.
Just do as you're told. For goodness sake.
I have one more idea for survival. I know this is more of a theory than an actionable advice, because I need to run it past you, right?
Sure.
So my understanding is that the bomb has some sort of sensor in it that is reading the sort of turning speed of the axle. Okay. Make sense?
Yeah, I guess so.
So it's on the front axle of the bus.
Because they say, is it linked up to the speedometer?
Yeah.
And they say no, and he goes, oh, well, it must be linked up to the axle or something.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's my understanding that as long as the front wheels are turning at 50 miles an hour, then the bomb...
A bus's front wheel drive or rear wheel?
Well, the sensor is on the front.
Okay.
Right? So it could be pushing from the back, but it's the front that's being measured.
Sure.
So my advice, and this is a little crazy, when they turn that really tight corner and they'll get on one side, I say stay on the other side, deliberately tip the bus so that there's no resistance against the wheels, lock the gas pedal in, so the wheels just go...
Yeah.
Then get everyone off the bus. Fine.
Yeah, I mean, knowing my buddy Howard Payne, I'd imagine that he's got some sort of contingency plan for this idea. He would have thought of this. He'd have thought ahead.
So he's probably got like sort of a gyroscopic sensor.
He knows the max speed for a bus, right? It's not going to exceed 80, for example. So if it starts travelling at what the bomb interprets it as 140 miles an hour, as these wheels are spinning freely, then he's going to know something's up.
Okay.
Also, so
there's also a max speed to bear in mind.
Yeah, but what I thought you were going to say was that you can get like a low loader type thing, and just drive the front wheels onto the top of that, and then have them spinning.
Right, nice. Or alternatively, pick up the bus with some sort of helicopter.
Yeah.
Like a Chinook.
Yeah. And then at least if it has some sort of GPS, knowing how fast it's going, then that is factored in as well, because the helicopter could fly it at faster than 50 miles an hour.
Exactly, yeah. I don't think it has GPS in it.
No.
Because this is 1994.
Yeah.
But
Howard Payne's resourceful. We don't know
exactly,
where he's getting his money from.
Yeah. He probably bought a satellite system, yeah.
Exactly. Did Howard Payne only attach bombs to 2 buses?
That's my assumption, yeah.
Yeah, and only one of them had the speed sensor, right?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Because the other one that blew up is he's
flexing his muscles.
Okay, yeah. Why? Is it just a personal vendetta that he's also using to get the 3 million that he wanted originally?
What do you mean?
Is it he's doing all of this bus stuff to get back at Jack Travers?
Yes. Well, he considers that he's been cheated by Jack Travers,
right?
And therefore Jack Travers.
Oh, because he says all that stuff
money.
About I've been planning this for so long and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So he holds him responsible, and therefore has put him, whether you like it or not, he's put him in charge of facilitating the correction of his mistake.
Sure. Okay. It just seems like you would think he'd wait until Jack Travers was already on the bus or something, because it seems out of.
Well, he wasn't trying to kill him. He was trying to put him through stress.
Like, what if the bus? Like, there's too many. He comes across as a meticulous person. He's annoyed that his plans have been ruined. But then there's too many factors that he has no control over in this plan.
Well, like if
the bus got caught in traffic before Jack Travers got there, and it just blew up.
Or if Jack Travers had drunk a few more beers that night.
Yeah, and he was in bed.
Yeah.
At what point does he? Because he knows he puts the bomb on the speed bomb he puts on that bus, and he's fitted the camera as well. So has he done that morning? Like, let's say Howard Payne gets up in early hours, goes down to the bus depot, fits the camera, fits the bomb, right? Mm-hmm. He then hopes or assumes that the bus isn't going to travel over 50 miles an hour.
If he knows the route and he knows the sort of traffic densities, he can probably estimate.
So that bus hadn't moved. That hadn't done a circuit of the route already that day.
Perhaps not.
Unless can he arm it?
Maybe. Yeah. Well, he can do anything.
Yeah. It's Howard Payne. Well, one final idea for survival is that given that the bus needs to travel 50 miles an hour in order to arm the bomb initially, just move to London.
Yeah,
we both live in London. I can guarantee you that buses will never go above 50 miles an hour.
I was going to say that. I was thinking, because a bus will get up to 50 at some point in its round. No, it won't in London.
No, never. No bus in London has ever. If you're out there and you're listening to this and you're on a bus in London and it's going 50 miles an hour, email in.
Yeah.
HowToSurviveShow@gmail.com.
We're going to get you on the podcast.
Yeah.
And talk about your experience, because that is unbelievably rare.
Yeah.
So I think we can wrap up and seal the deal for speed there. Next week we've got Crank from 2006, the Jason Statham classic.
Yeah. Action film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The film. It's a film.
It is a film. Next week we're covering a film.
Yeah. So if you've got thoughts on how you'd survive in it, then do email in. The email address, as ever, is howtosurviveshow@gmail.com. And that's just what now a regular contributor, Gemma, has done. She says, "Hi guys, me again. I've listened to all the podcasts, no slacking here. Nightmare on Elm Street 2010. I prefer this remake, actually, in the same way I appreciate but don't prefer the Rob Zombie Halloween."
Okay.
She means that in terms of backstory. In order to survive, I would snag a sponsorship with Relentless or other high-energy drinks and never sleep again. Only way to be sure. If only someone could have seen in the ink blots what could have happened, maybe we could have stopped him. I guess that's a reference to Rorschach.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Jackie O'Haley was Rorschach in Watchmen.
Yeah.
So I agree with you there, Gemma. Of course, it comes back to Watney's index, doesn't it? Drinking too many sugary drinks may decrease your ability to live very long.
Let's just recap what Watney's index is, Joe, for any listeners who haven't listened as far back as The Martian.
So The Martian has Matt Damon's character, Mark Watney, stuck on Mars, and he has to eat potatoes in order to survive.
Yeah.
But because potatoes are essentially high carbohydrate and not very nutritional, he may decrease his long-term health benefits and die of something like diabetes or malnutrition.
Yeah, so Watney's Index discusses whether or not a method of survival is suitable if it causes a long-term decrease in the number of, in the longevity of your life.
Exactly. So short-term survival, yes. Long-term survival, who knows?
Perhaps not.
But thank you for emailing in. Although, of course, you are wrong about it being a better film. It is not. See our episode of 2 weeks ago for context.
But thanks, as ever, for emailing in, Gemma.
If you want to check out our back catalogue in its completeness, head over to HowToSurviveShow.com, where you will find a running list of all the movies we've covered so far. Slowly but surely getting there.
Yep. And also you'll see the films that we've got coming up soon. So if you've got any thoughts on them or any films you'd like us to cover, then as ever, email in to howtosurviveshow@gmail.com.
And I'm told that rankings in iTunes are affected by reviews.
Okay.
And that's, I don't know whether to believe it or not. I think the only way we can know for sure is if you leave us a 5-star review, and we'll see if our rankings go up.
Yeah, and as ever, remember that if you go above 5 stars and drop below 5 stars, this podcast will explode.
Yes. So here's to us guys for doing our job and not getting dead.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week for Crank.